Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Cosmic Slumber Tarot by Tilly Walden. Website on the bottom is liminal11.com. Feel free to check that out if you'd like to. Supportive Oracle cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. Website on this one is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A is an apple, U is an umbrella. Feel free to freeze frame on any of that if you want to check out those websites. Okay, Taurus. Very interesting. Very interesting in the sense of like, oh, we got the bottom cards popping out, which is fine. Which is fine, it's fine. Okay, so I'm like, what am I starting with here? It's just like, it's just sitting there. Like, why is it not coming forward? It's weird. This is the Taurus card. So the first card out was your card. Capricorn also had a similar start. Their card was the first card out in their reading. It's just kind of, I just did that one. It might be one of the reasons it's popping in my head. I'm also getting like, seeing the situation in a way that actually serves you versus where you're standing could be the challenge here. There's a good outcome is possible. I mean, I'm just going to tell you the truth. I'm looking at this and I'm like, there's a bump. There's quite the bump hitting. If this reading is hitting, then it's there either way. If this reading isn't making it show up, it's either there or it's not. I feel like you already know that. I feel like you already get that. Watching this reading doesn't make those things happen. It's either it hits or it doesn't. There's a change coming. Taurus can be compatible with change on your terms when it seems like it's appropriate. If it's appropriate and it goes in the correct way, Taurus can be okay with change. But I feel like a lot of times the way change happens, the way it kind of just shows up in your life, probably not the biggest fan of it. Doesn't mean that has to be true. I mean, Taurus, there's a lot of different flavors of Taurus out there, but more times out of not, Taurus isn't big on change. That's my interpretation. Let me know if I'm wrong. The thing is, to keep value in a situation, Taurus is very, very realistic. Kind of like, all right, it's not about liking it to this point. If it's going to happen, what do I need to do to stabilize it to get the most out of it? So it's kind of like, may not like it. Fine. It's going to happen. I get it. How do I make this work for me? So, you know, the word responsibility and Taurus are like that. Like, all right, I get it. It's going to happen. So let me try to see what I need to do with it to make it happen. Once you realize the change is going to happen, I should be fair about that. Once you're like, oh, that change is going to happen. All right, let me see what I need to do with it to make it work out to the best. You try to be very realistic. I keep getting the word realistic, especially if this is a work situation and people are making choices and changes and you're like, I need to make a paycheck. I got to go along with certain things. It's not about me liking it. It's about me just working with it. So I'm trying to work with it. What's coming in, it's very difficult because it's hitting me right now. It's slowly coming forward, but I feel like this is kind of the current of this whole reading. And I feel like this is why it might be ironically very frustrating for you when it comes forward. Even though Taurus is a fan, typically, of slow and steady wins the race, typically, the information coming about the change, letting you know how this is going to work out, what else is coming in, where this is going to go, where that's going to go, we're going to sell this, we're going to keep that, we're going to move this, we're going to not move that. All those details, who's going to stay, who's going to go, is being released in pieces. To you, it's going to look out of order. To you, it's going to look out of order. So whoever's releasing the information, there's a reason why they're releasing certain information at certain times. To them, it has a purpose, it has a system, it has a structure. But from where you're standing, I don't see you seeing it. It's kind of like, that looks very random, that looks very out of sync. Like, it's kind of like A, D, F, Q. It's like, wait a minute, what? But they're spelling a word, and you're just like, I don't know. And there's vowels or whatever. You can't see where it's going. That's the point. You can't see where this is going. Oh my God, I hate it so much. I can feel it. I hate it so much. I can't see where it's going. I feel like I have no choice. I gotta go with it. I feel very trapped with it. I really kind of do. I do. But I'm trying to go along with it. I'm also noticing that other people are very upset. You have a very curious energy coming in here. I'm going to roll the dice and then show you the cards, because I'm like, this is a very curious connection. Three of Cups again. You got the Three of Cups over here, and you're like, other people are very much on your mind. You look out for people. I feel like that's a Taurus thing too. You look out for people. And it's kind of like the Tower's coming in the dice, and then the Three of Cups again, and then the Three of Cups card is there. It's very like, other people are very shaken by this stuff. The thing is, you know you're going to be okay. Like it, don't like it, that's its own thing. That's its own animal. But you will be all right, and you will make it through this, and you seem to know that. You feel like, yeah, I'll make it through. Liking it, life isn't always about liking it. You seem to get that very easily. Succeeding will still succeed. Will still succeed. Taurus can take a lot, and will still make it through. Somebody might knock you down. It may take you 2 days to stand back up, but you will stand back up. That's the thing. And you're like, once I stand back up, you better be ready, because I'm coming for you. It's one of those energies, kind of like, if you knock me down and it takes me 2 days to get back up, I will get back up, but I will be very hell-bent on getting what I want for getting back up, and I will not be happy about being knocked down, and I will remember who knocked me down. This is Taurus. It's kind of like, I'm like, I'll remember if somebody messes with me, but I will get back up. You know you're going to make it through this. That's the point. The energy around you is like, it's very chaotic. I don't know if it's really as bad as it seems. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of this for you. Kind of like, the energy's got the Ten of Swords around it. It's like, this is like the weather coming in. This is like a really bad storm coming in. Creativity with the Ten of Swords is kind of like, people are taking things maybe way too far, and they're having worst case scenario. Kind of like, it's like feeling like, well, it's kind of like where I've lived. We've had bad snowstorms. We've had some bad windstorms too with tornadoes. Tornadoes are rare here though. We've had some floods, which are also rare but do happen. But it's like somebody's freaking out, like, we're going to have a bad snowstorm that's going to lead into a flood, and then we're going to have a tornado rip through here like a hurricane. They're like, oh, everything bad that's ever happened, all that's going to happen right now. We're going to have the worst storm ever, ever, ever. Like, somebody's freaking out. Maybe more than one person is freaking out. And I feel like you're noticing this. And I feel like you're kind of like, well, I want to prepare, but like, I don't want to be completely mad about this. There's a moment here where I feel like, I don't know if you're really saying anything. You're just kind of like stepping back and kind of going, okay, right, end of the world, get it, got it, end of the world, okay. It's kind of like, oh, you think it's the end of the world, okay, right, end of the world. I feel like I'm almost shell-shocked that people are freaking out to the level they are. I feel like I'm a little shell-shocked. This is almost also, I don't know if I want to add this, but I'm thinking of it, so I guess I will. Years ago, I worked at a financial institution, and I kept thinking like the financial institution was going to close, which was very interesting. Because it was like 2 states away. No, it was 1 state away. It's the neighboring state. They did close a whole branch. Like, people walked in and they're like, nope, you don't work here anymore. And I don't remember how many people they just kind of like gave their severance package to, and they left. But I remember like thinking it was going to happen to my branch. maybe because I was too close to the situation. I don't know. I knew like they were going to close. I kept feeling like they were going to close, they were going to close, they were going to close, they were going to close. The next state over, they did do that to one of the branches. There was like a bunch of people though. There was like 30 or so people I think they just said goodbye to. But still. It makes me feel like there's a current of like things aren't going well, something's going to happen here, but it's not nearly as bad as it seems, but there will be some negative outcome here. But I feel like people are freaking out about something that may not happen to them, but might happen somewhere close by. It kind of feels like that to me. So it's not like it's completely unwarranted, but it's also kind of like, it's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing in the world. But that energy is there. It's building from something. It is building from something. Change, acceptance, attraction, the Hermit. I feel like you're weathering the storm. Especially, I feel like this is Taurus fashion. Let me know if I'm wrong. Okay, there's a storm coming. We could have a tornado. We could have a snowstorm. Maybe during the time of year, for example, it could snow, could rain, could have a tornado, could have a flood, could have anything happen right now. Could be bad. So I feel like Taurus is like, well, I'm going to make sure the house is all set. I'm going to make sure I have enough food. I'm going to get the generator, make sure I have enough gas for the generator, and I'm just going to keep an eye out. I'm just going to keep my eye on things, and I'm just going to keep it stable until it passes. It won't last forever, but as long as it does last, even if it's a full week, which is not likely, I'll keep my eye out. I'll just watch it. I'll weather it, and we'll get through it. I see you weathering the storm. You seem to accept it for what it is. This is not bad. Your energy goes into a very calm place. Do you like this whole storm situation? No. Do you accept it? I feel like you're flat out accepting it for what it is. And the attraction part is kind of like, by accepting for what it is, I'm pulling in what I need to do to get through it, to weather the storm, to move on beyond it. You have this I'm going to succeed attitude, which is true. And as the change is passing by, I do feel like we're seeing a lot of things happen here that we don't like, but I also feel like you're also watching as it happens, kind of like, well, I didn't like that, but there's an opportunity. I didn't like that, but there's an opportunity. That over there wasn't working anyway, so I guess that's not so bad, and there'll be more opportunity there. I feel like I'm trying to be objective. I keep feeling your energy go to the objective thing, like, well, it happened. Okay, we'll see what happens later. Well, that happened. All right, we'll see what happens later. I don't see anything being totally devastating here, by the way. But I see, like, when the storm has passed, the Four of Cups comes in with the Temperance card. Now, the thing is with the Four of Cups, you got to be very careful to not center on what went wrong. A lot of people around you are going to keep centering on what went wrong. There's a lot of good. On the Four of Cups, typically, there's a lot of good, and usually one cup that you can't get your hands on. This card is a little bit different. No matter if it's the majority or the minority, if it's most of it or the least of it, whatever it is, whatever worked out right, center your energy on that. Clean up what failed. Clean up what failed, keep what worked, and center your energy on what worked. That's the trick of the Four of Cups. That's what I've learned anyway over the years. See what is working, see what you did like that left, clean up what didn't work, and just center on what you do like and build from that. Especially because Taurus is a great builder. Make sure that other people being upset, like I feel like other people are going to have a really hard time getting over some things and letting go of things that just failed. Trust that they're meant to deal with their own problems. You got to center on what works for you and move. That's what's going to move you out of this energy. If you center on what works for you, if you keep building on what works for you, it'll move you on. Trust that these other people have to do things their own way. If they're not ready to come out of that energy, then they're not ready to come out of that energy. Trust that they're doing what's best for them. Let them center on what they need to center on. You center on what you need to center on. That's the hardest part of this, because Taurus, huge amount of responsibility, especially if there's people you care about. But I feel like with the Temperance card in here and the Four of Cups, people are doing things that are counterproductive. These two cards together, I just don't feel like this is working. Other people around you are going to do counterproductive things. And if you keep trying to help them and figure out things for them, I feel like I get sucked into this like negative spiral before I know it. Like, I start at the top where it seems like good intentions. I see people swirling and I'm trying to help them come out of this current. But before I know it, I've kind of got sucked into it, and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, there we go, down the negative spiral. Step out of it. Trust that they'll handle it when they're ready to handle it. The energy, the Temperance card really doesn't match Taurus energy anyway, not usually. Temperance is a very positive card, but a very random card. They keep moving, they do this, they do that. It's very random, slow and steady wins the race, but they're all over the place. It's not really the thing for you. If other people have to do what they have to do, let them do what they need to do. Trust they're going to make it right for themselves. Center your energy where you need to center your energy. I feel like that's the helpful part here that they're trying to push forward. Be careful. Because the energy is very... it's very seductive almost. And it's gonna suck you down this negative spiral that you don't really want. I understand that you want to make a difference and you want to do what's right, but it may not be the time for you to help. It's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of that old adage of like the mom, you know, who has a couple kids and like something goes wrong. The old adage is the mom has to help themselves before they can help anybody else, because if the mom doesn't survive, the kids won't either. So the mom has to help themselves first. It's hard, and it's kind of hard to look at that. That's kind of why I'm using that analogy, is because I feel like a mom's instinct is to help their kids first. But in truth, if they don't help themselves first, they make sure they stay strong, they can't help the other ones. They're only going to be able to go so far before they pass out, and then they're off on their own anyway, and then who knows what's going to happen. If the mom helps themselves first, strengthens themselves first, they have more energy and more resilience to help them. And then the mom has to teach whoever they're helping to help them in return. So like there's a circle effect going, give and take, give and take. And that's where that really builds strength, and that's where the mom is really taken care of as much as she's taking care of them, whoever they are. It's kind of, I'm feeling the Empress card with that. So it's kind of like, if you help yourself first and stabilize yourself first, you can then help other people, but stabilize yourself first and trust that that's the right way to do it. Stabilize, help yourself first, build your own first, let them do what they got to do. Once you're safe and secure, and you'll know when that is, then you can go back and try to help other people stand up and do what they need to do. But while we're in this flux, leave them to their own situation, trust that that's for the best, do what you need to do for you, and then when you're stable, then do that. I know that seems to be like 101. It seems like that should be obvious, but I feel like your heart's going to pull you over towards people, and I feel like that's what they're pointing out. So hopefully this has a positive effect in that sense. Are we good? All right, I think I'm there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.